Hello students, welcome to the course on analog and digital communication systems. And the course code is EC501. This is the course for BTech 5th semester EC students. Myself, Dr. Shurojit Bosak, Assistant Professor of EC Department, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology, Kolkata. And this is my official email address. In the last few lectures from this module, we have already covered amplitude shift keying, that is ASK, coherent binary phase shift keying, that is BPSK, then quadri phase shift keying, that is QPSK, and another non-coherent digital phase shift keying, which is called DPSK or differential phase shift keying. So today we are going to start a nonlinear method of passband data transmission, which is called frequency shift keying. So let us start lecture number 6 from the module 5, that is digital modulation techniques, with the topic of coherent frequency shift keying. And the lesson objectives of this topic are: study various digital modulation techniques that can compute the bit error performance and compare their advantages and limitations. And second lesson objective is study signal vector representation of various digitally modulated signals by creating signal constellation. And this topic is mapped with CO number 2 and CO number 5. So let us start lecture number 6 from the 5th module, that is digital modulation techniques, with the topic of coherent frequency shift keying. This is basically a nonlinear method of passband data transmission. In binary FSK, which is abbreviated as basically FSK, frequency shift keying, abbreviated as FSK. In a binary FSK system, symbol 1 and symbol 0 are distinguished from each other by transmitting one of two sinusoidal waves that differ in frequency by a fixed amount. A typical pair of sinusoidal waves is described by, say, SIT, which is say square root of 2EB by TB cos 2 pi FIT, where T belongs to 0 to TB. Otherwise, it is 0. So, where I is basically 1 and 2, which is the transmitted frequency. So, F1 and F2 are the transmitted frequency. So, Fi is represented as NC plus I by TB, where NC for some fixed integer NC and I is equal to 1 to 2. The symbol 1 is represented by S1T and symbol 0 is represented by, say, S2T. In case of symbol 0, say it is the frequency is F2, and in case of symbol 1, the frequency is, say, F1. And here EB is the transmitted signal energy per bit, and Fi is the transmitted frequency. Now, it is a continuous phase signal in the sense that phase continuity is always maintained, including the inter-bit switching times. This form of digital modulation is an example of continuous phase shift keying, CPFSK. So from this earlier equation, one can observe directly that the signals S1T and S2T are orthogonal, but not normalized to have unit energy. We therefore deduce the most useful form for the set of orthonormal basis function, which is denoted as phi it, which is 2 square root of 2 by TB cos 2 pi FIT, where T belongs to 0 to TB, else it is 0. Where I is equal to 1, 2. Correspondingly, the coefficient Sij for I equal to 1 to 2 and j equal to 1 to 2 is defined by Sij is equal to 0 to TB SIT phi jt dt, which is equal to 0 to TB square root of 2 EB by TB cos 2 pi FIT into square root of 2 by TB cos 2 pi FJT dt. Therefore, which is Sij equal to square root of EB and 0. So for I equal to j and for I not equal to j. Thus, unlike coherent BPSK, a coherent binary FSK system is characterized by having a signal space that is basically a two-dimensional, because there are two orthonormal basis functions are present actually. So here the signal space is basically a two-dimensional. That means n equal to 2 and there are two message points are exist. That means m equal to also 2. Then where is the message point? In the two orthonormal basis functions, the two message points are, this can be determined from this expression. So S1 is basically square root of EB. The location is square root of EB 0, and S2 you can easily determine from this red area, and S2 is a vector that is S21 and S22. So S1, this vector S1 is basically S11 into S12. S11 is when I equal to j, it is square root of EB, and when I not equal to j, it is 0. So it is root EB 0. And S2 vector is basically S21 into S22. তাহলে S21 is basically 0 because I not equal to j, and S22 which is square root of EB. So 0 square root of EB. And the Euclidean distance between them is square root of 2EB. See the signal space diagram. This axis is phi1 and this axis is phi2. They are two orthonormal basis function. And in the orthonormal basis function, message point M1 corresponds to basically S1 exists at the point square root of EB 0. So this is the message point square for a message point M1, and the location is square root of EB, comma 0. And for message point M2, that is the whose location is 0, comma square root of EB. So this is the point 0, comma square root of EB for message point M2. So these are the two message points exist in phi1 and phi2. And the Euclidean distance between them is square root of 2EB. So this is the Euclidean distance. And see, for S1t, whose frequency just same, there is no phase difference. Frequency shifting, that means only frequency are shifted between 1 and 0. So for message point M1, the frequency is F1, say, and this is for message point M2, the frequency is deferred. Say it is F2. No amplitude variation, no phase variation, only the variation in frequency here. Now, I want to find out the error probability for binary FSK system. So error probability of BFSK. How to find an error probability? So the observation vector X has two elements, X1 and X2, and that are defined by, say, X1 is equal to 0 to integration of 0 to TB xt phi1t dt, and X2 is equal to integration of 0 to TB xt phi2t dt, where xt is the received signal, the form of which depends on which symbol was transmitted. Given that symbol 1 was transmitted, then xt equal to basically S1t plus Wt, where Wt is the sample function of a wide Gaussian noise process of 0 mean and power spectral density N0 by 2. Now, if on the other hand symbol 0 was transmitted, then xt equals to s2t plus wt. Now applying the decision rule, same decision rule which was applicable for BPSK and QPSK also. We find the observation space. See the earlier signal space diagram. Now first you have to find out the decision boundary. Where is the decision boundary? And where is the observation space or decision region? That is Z1 and Z2. Decision boundary is the basically the perpendicular bisector of the line joining the two message points. See, the joining the two message points, just perpendicular bisector of the line. So this is the decision region. And in the decision region, this region is denoted as Z1 and this region is denoted as Z2 region. So these are the two separating regions, Z1 and Z2. Now the receiver decides in favor of symbol 1. What is the decision rule? Now the receiver decides, again I am repeating, in favor of the receiver decides in favor of symbol 1 if the received signal point represented by the observation vector x falls inside region Z1. This occurs when x1 greater than x2. When the received signal point falls in this region or in this Z1 region, when x1 greater than x2. If on the other hand, if we have x1 less than x2, that means the received signal point falls inside region Z2. And the receiver decides in favor of symbol 0. Now, on the decision boundary, if the received signal falls on the decision boundary, what would be the case? In that case, x1 equal to x2. If the received signal point falls on the decision boundary, in that case, that means x1 equal to x2. In this case, the receiver makes a random guess in favor of symbol 1 or symbol 0. Just it is written here, the decision boundary separating region Z1 and Z2, which is and the decision boundary is a perpendicular bisector of the line joining the two message points. Now this is the decision rule. The receiver decides in favor of symbol 1 if the received signal point represented by the observation vector x falls inside region Z1. That means x1 greater than x2. What I am saying. Now if x1 less than x2, then the received signal point falls inside region Z2. Then receiver takes decision in favor of symbol 0. That are already I am saying. Now, define a new Gaussian random variable y, whose sample value, say small y, is equal to the difference between x1 and x2. That means y is equal to x1 minus x2. The mean value of the random variable y depends on which binary symbol was transmitted. Given that, say symbol 1 was transmitted, the Gaussian random variable x1 and x2, whose sample values are denoted by x1 and x2, say have mean value equal to square root of EB, comma, and 0. Correspondingly, the conditional mean of the random variable y, given that symbol 1 was transmitted, which is denoted as expectation of y conditional 1. That means conditional, it is a conditional mean, given that symbol 1 was transmitted. So expectation of x1 conditional 1 minus expectation of x2 conditional 1. So the mean value of the first term, that is expectation of x1 conditional 1, it is plus root over EB. And the mean value of the second term is 0. So expectation of y conditional 1 is plus root over EB. On the other hand, given that symbol 0 was transmitted, the random variables x1 and x2 have mean values equal to 0 and square root of EB. Correspondingly, the conditional mean of the random variable y, given that symbol 0 was transmitted, it is expectation of y conditional 0, which is equal to expectation of x1 conditional 0 minus expectation of x2 conditional 0. So the first part, that is expectation of x1, given that conditional 0, it is 0. And the mean value of the second part is my root over EB. So conditional mean value, given that symbol 0 was transmitted, that is represented by expectation of y conditional 0 is minus square root of EB. Now the variance of the random variable y is independent of which binary symbol was transmitted. Since the random variables x1 and x2 are statistically independent, each with a variance equal to n0 by 2, then it follows variance of y equal to variance of x1 plus variance of x2. So it individually it is n0 by 2, so their summation is n0. So in that way we can determine the mean value and variance. Better to say conditional mean value. Now you have, suppose that symbol 0 was actually transmitted, then the conditional PDF or probability density function of the random variable y is given by fy, that is a conditional PDF, f of y, given that y actually 0 was transmitted, so it is called conditional PDF, and it follows a Gaussian distribution. So 1 by square root of 2 pi n0. So it is variance square. Into e to the power minus. So if symbol 0 is transmitted, then its mean value is minus root over EB. So here it is y minus mean. So ultimately it is plus. So y plus root over EB whole square by 2n0. Now since the condition x1 greater than x2 or equivalently y greater than 0 corresponds to the receiver making a decision in favor of symbol 1, we deduce that the conditional probability of error given that symbol 0 was transmitted, which is denoted as P10, that means 1 is received and 0 is transmitted. So that means 1 is received, that means probability of y greater than 0, that means x1 greater than x2, that means probability y greater than 0, given that symbol 0 was sent. So in that case, the error probability will occur. 1 is received, but actually 0 is transmitted. So probability of y greater than 0, given that symbol 0 was sent. So it is integration of 0 to infinity f of y conditional y conditional 0 dy. So that is 1 by 2 pi. Just we have already determined this conditional probability. 1 by 2 pi n0 square root of 2 pi n0 integration of 0 to infinity e to the power minus y plus root over EB whole square by 2n0 into dy. Now how to solve this expression? Similar way, consider z equal to y plus root over EB by square root of 2n0. See, let us consider that z equal to y plus square root of EB by square root of 2n0. Now after putting this and after calculating the integration part and limit of changing the limit of the integration, we have found that P10 equal to 1 by root over pi into integration of the lower limit is square root of EB by 2n0 to infinity is the upper limit of integration, and it is e to the power minus z square dz. So this is in the form of ERFC, complementary error function. Already we have familiar with the term. So P10 is equal to half ERFC square root of EB by 2n0. Similarly, we may show that P01, the conditional probability of error given that symbol 1 was transmitted, has the same value as for P10. Therefore, the average probability of bit error, or equivalently we say the bit error rate for coherent binary FSK, which is say PE equal to half ERFC square root of EB by 2N0. So this is the average error probability for BFSK. And comparing this, obviously this probability is, this part is lower. If we compare it with BPSK, then obviously probability of FSK is higher than the error probability of BPSK, because this part is again higher. So ultimately complementary error function, so this part is lower, so ultimately error probability will be higher compared to the BPSK system. Okay. Next, so this is the average error probability for BFSK signal. This is very much important. Next is the generation techniques for coherent BPSK signal. How to generate the coherent BPSK signal? To generate a binary FSK signal, the block diagram shown here, this is the block diagram for generation of coherent BPSK signal, BFSK signal. The incoming binary data sequence is first applied as an on-off label encoder, and the output of which symbol 1 is represented by a constant amplitude of square root of EB volts, and symbol 0 is represented by 0 volts. By using an inverter in the lower channel, see in the figure, we in effect make sure that when we have symbol 1 at the input, the oscillator with frequency F1 in the upper channel is switched on, while the oscillator with frequency F2 in the lower channel is switched off, with the result that frequency F1 is transmitted. And conversely, when we have symbol 0 at the input, the oscillator in the upper channel is switched off and the oscillator in the lower channel is switched on, with the result that frequency F2 is transmitted. The two frequencies F1 and F2 are chosen to equal different integer multipliers of the bit rate 1 by TB. So in the transmitter, we assume that the two oscillators are synchronized so that their output satisfies the requirement of the two orthonormal basis functions, say phi 1t and phi 2t. So in that way, we can generate, after adding these two signal, we can generate a BFSK signal. Now, how to detect an BFSK signal? See, this is the detection technique of coherent BFSK signal. To detect the original binary sequence given the noisy receive signal xt, we may use the receiver shown here. It consists of two basically correlator circuit. Correlator means multiplier followed by an integrator. With a common input which are supplied with locally generated coherence reference signals, say phi 1t and phi 2t. The correlator outputs are then subtracted one from the other. The resulting difference, say y, is computed with a threshold of 0 volt. If y greater than 0, the receiver decides in favor of 1. On the other hand, if y less than 0, it decides in favor of symbol 0. If y is exactly 0, the receiver makes a random guess in favor of 1 or 0. So this is the circuit in which we can demodulate a binary frequency shift king waveform, BFSK modulated waveform. Next is the power spectra of BFSK signal. Consider two transmitted frequencies F1 and F2 differ by an amount equal to the bit rate 1 by TB, and their arithmetic mean equals the nominal carrier frequency, say FC, and phase continuity is always maintained, including inter-bit switching times. We may express this spectral binary FSK signal as follows. Say ST equal to square root of 2 EB by TB cos 2 pi FCT plus minus pi T by TB, where T belongs to 0 to TB. Now just simplify it with a trigonometric identity. So cos A plus B, cos A square root of 2 EB by TB, cos plus minus pi T by TB, cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. So square root of 2 EB by TB cos minus sin, that means it is positive. So cos pi T by TB into cos 2 pi FCT, then but sin plus minus here, sin of minus theta, that means minus sin theta. So it is, for the case of minus here, it will be plus. So it is reverse, that is for the case of plus it is minus, and for the case of minus sign it is plus. So that is why a minus plus sign come here. Square root of 2 EB by TB sin pi T by TB into sin 2 pi FCT. So the plus sign corresponds to transmitting symbol 0 and minus sign corresponds to transmitting symbol 1. So we assume that the symbol 1 and 0 in the random binary wave at the modulator output are equally likely as before. We are assuming the same condition, and that symbols and that the symbols transmitted in adjacent time slot are statistically independent. Then we may make the following observation pertaining to the in-phase and quadrature components of a binary FSK signal with two continuous phases. The in-phase component is completely independent of the input binary wave. It equals square root of 2 EB by TB into cos pi t by TB for all values of time. The power spectral density of this component therefore consists of two delta functions and weighted by the factor EB by 2 TB and occurring at f equal to plus minus 1 by 2 TB. So this is for in-phase quadrature component. And the quadrature component is directly related to the input binary wave. During the signaling interval, so this is the quadrature component. During the signaling interval, say t belongs to 0 to TB, it equals minus GT when we have symbol 1 and plus GT when we have symbol 0. Therefore, the symbol shaping function GT is defined by square root of 2 EB by TB sine pi t by TB when t belongs to 0 to TB. Otherwise, it is 0. Therefore, the energy spectral density of this symbol shaping function is, say, psi GF, which is 8 EB TB cos square pi TB F by pi square into 4 TB square F square minus 1 a whole square. So the power spectral density of the quadrature component equals to psi GF by TB. And therefore, the power spectral density or baseband power spectral density of binary FSK system is SBF equal to EB by 2 TB delta function F minus 1 by TB plus delta function F plus 1 by TB plus 8 EB cos square pi TBF by pi square into 4 TB square F square minus 1 whole square. So this is the power spectral density. Now draw the waveform and compare it with BPSK. See the waveform. Just see the waveform. So naturally there is an impulse is present and which is 1 by 4. That means it is, see, this is the FSK waveform. See, this is the FSK and here an impulse delta function. Actually, this is a normalized PSD. SBF by 2 TB and compare it with binary PSK system. If we consider only the primary lobe, then BPSK have the lower bandwidth and BFSK has slightly higher bandwidth. And see, there is a delta function is present for the impulse. Impulse is present for this delta function. One is for f equal to 1 by 2 TB and other is for f equal to minus 1 by 2 TB. Only one part is shown here. So this is all about binary FSK system. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.